it's Nina Carmichael, and we made these videos because you're probably the most ambitious person in your circle. But you know you're capable of more, and you need a push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and how to create meaningful change in your life. Enjoy! Okay, let's kick it out with rule number 1. Be willing to change.
You're not changing because you're trying to do everything yourself. You're trying to do it all alone. You can have a moment of inspiration, a moment of, this is the day, I'm going to change it all. And then when your environment and the people around you don't support you in doing it, and you're doing it all alone, you lose momentum. The next day, that momentum is gone, and the next day, the momentum is absolutely zero. You ever been there? Until you get the people around you to support you, to create a circle where you can feel like you do not have to do this alone, you won't change. And you'll stay stuck knowing that you're capable of more and frustrated with yourself at the lack of momentum. I run this challenge inside my Move for Makers program, and every month we have to talk about a certain topic. Move for Makers is for thought leaders. It's people who they have a message, they have a mission, they want to get out to the world. Your story matters. Let's get it out there and go. Come on. But it's really hard to share your story, and it's really hard to make videos, and it's really hard to put yourself out there. And you have these moments where you want to do it and you feel on top of the world, like, yes, I'm ready. And then what? Then all the insecurities and fears and doubts creep in. And as I was noticing people in Mover Makers not making enough content, I decided to do a challenge. And the challenge is once a month, we pick a topic. And this month's topic is courage. And what you have to do is make a solo video that's 10 minutes long. You have to make a lead magnet to help grow your business. And you have to do 3 collaboration videos. And most people do Instagram lives to collaborate with each other. And all of a sudden, people who took up the challenge started making content. All of a sudden, the excuses went away. I don't know what gear to buy. I don't know what camera to use. I don't know what microphone. I don't know what to talk about. My story's not good enough. I'll start next week. I'll start next year. I'll start next month. I'll start on my birthday. I'll start on January 1st. I'll start on Monday. I'll start next month, right? All of the excuses all of a sudden went away because you're not doing it alone. Because all of those reasons that are holding people back, that are holding you back, what you want to do something bigger. All of the reasons that are actually holding you back are not the logical ones that are in your head, right? The idea that you're not making content because you don't know what phone to use or what camera to use or what. I'm making these videos for my channel on my phone. I'm in my car at my wife's acupuncturist. She's getting acupuncture done right now in the building right next to me. And so I'm making content in my car. You can too, right? There are logical reasons why you are not doing the thing that you want to do, right? That you say is important to you. There's logical reasons that you are buying. You believe them. They are actual reasons, but they're not good enough reasons. And underneath those reasons why you're not doing the thing that you need to do is just that you're afraid. It's just fear. And suffering through fear alone is really, really hard. It's not that it's not possible. It's not that you can't do it. It's just immensely difficult. And most people won't. Most people won't follow through. Most people don't follow through because they are alone in this journey. You might have people around you. You might have great parents, friends, a spouse. But if you feel like you're walking the journey all by yourself, it's just insanely difficult to actually follow through and get the results that you want. The good news is you can change it, right? The good news is, hey, we don't have to stay stuck. The good news is you can change your circle, and I'm going to share a couple ideas in this video of how to do it. So, number 1, I like to collect good people. Collect good people. Think about the people around you in your life. How many of them make you feel happier, more energetic, more positive? And you may not have many people. You may not have someone like that. Great. Think about the people who you've ever met. Maybe it was at a conference, maybe an event, maybe a lunch or dinner, some kind of party, a friend of a friend. I find ways to spend more time with good people. I remind myself that I like to collect good people. And as someone who's shy and introverted, that's not my default state. I don't think to call people. I don't think to message people. I don't default to being around people. But when there's somebody whose energy I really love and I leave the conversation feeling more uplifted than when I went in, then I try to find ways to spend more time with that person. And maybe it leads to a business, maybe it leads to some kind of opportunity, maybe it just leads to another conversation. But think about the people who you have met at some point in your life. Maybe not the people around you right now, but an old high school friend, or again, somebody at an event or a club or some meeting that you met that you really like their energy and their vibe. I'll lean in on the awkward and say, hey, do you want to go grab a coffee? I'd love to learn more about your story. Or I really love your energy. Do you want to go and get some lunch together? It feels super awkward, but chances are they need somebody too. And if you be the first one to do the outreach and say, hey, I'd love to learn more about you. So these are people who you don't really know that well, but you'd like to. And you can even say that when you're talking to them. Hey, I don't really know you that well, but I'd like to. And lean in on the awkwardness. Be the first one to go off and do it. So think about the people in your network, people who you have met, one-off meetings, who filled you with that positivity, and fight for more time with them. Because if you had 4 people and you met everybody once a month, that's once a week now. You're meeting some amazing human. Whether it's coffee, whether it's lunch, whether it's a Zoom call, whether it's actually forming some kind of business together, there are people who you've come across who are the support that you need. And you need to do the outreach to say, hey, I'd like to get to know you a little bit better and spend a little more time with you. Lean in on the awkwardness, collect good people. That's number 1. 2 is change your environment to be around the people, even if you can't meet them. So watching this video is a great example. Watch this video. Did you wake up this morning and you're like, yeah, my gosh, so amazing. Let's go crush the day. Probably not, right? I didn't. If you did, then I am super jealous of you. You probably woke up and you're tired and you're looking at your phone and what's on my calendar for today, and immediately some of the limiting beliefs and thoughts and attitudes popped in your head. And so if you can't be around the people every day, the collected people, if you can't be around them every day, then you can be around them virtually through videos, through YouTube, through books, through social media. Follow the people who make you feel better about yourself and make you want to go off and conquer your goals. Most of the time when people are spending time on social media, YouTube, Instagram, etc., how much of that time is spent actually learning and being inspired versus wasting time? How many times have you opened your phone, went to a social media app, and all of a sudden 40 minutes went by, you didn't even notice because you're just scrolling, right? Has that happened? That's not what you want to do. Don't lean in on that, right? Audit right now. Audit who you are subscribed to on YouTube and who you're following on Instagram. And ask yourself, do these people make me feel better about myself or not? Do I leave feeling more inspired than when I came in? And if no, then unfollow those people. And good news, there's lots of amazing people. Not just me, there's tons of amazing people who are making amazing content. And whatever you want to learn, whatever you want to get more into, when you can surround yourself, even in a social media environment, if you wanted to work out more, if you followed a whole bunch of fitness people who are working out constantly, people who are not making excuses for why they can't get to the gym today. If you followed all those people, it's now in your environment. You'll start to see it more often. It'll become that daily reminder for you, and you're more likely to go to the gym and work out. So whatever you want to be, whoever you want to be, whatever your goals are, choose to follow the people who are achieving those goals, who are living that, because it's not your identity yet. And for them, it is. And the more you're around that, they will suck you in to be like them. So choose very carefully what you want to get sucked into, right? It can also lead down a really negative, dark path, right? Whoever's more confident in their beliefs wins. So if you're around people who are strongly believing in something that is bad or evil or against your core values, you could be sucked down a really dark, negative hole as well. So step 1 is collect good people. Step 2 is to be around them, be around in social media with intention the people who make you feel better about yourself and go achieve your goals. And then step 3 is to join some kind of community, join some kind of group who are focused in on what you're trying to do. So if you want to get into fitness, then you can hire a coach to help you, a fitness trainer, or join a gym, or join some kind of collective where you feel like you don't have to do this by yourself. Why Movement Makers is so special is because if you want to be a thought leader, where do you go? Where do you go to hang out with other thought leaders? Right? Nowhere. Do you know anybody who's a thought leader is trying to make great content and share it and have a message to give to the world? You know, who else that you know in your life talks like that? Probably not, right? So being around that and whatever it is that you want to learn, you want to be better at chess, then join a chess club and hire a chess coach. Be around the people. Be around the people. Join some kind of community so you don't have to do this all alone. One of the things that I struggled the most with is feeling like I have to come up with all the ideas myself, carrying everything on my back. And what I realized very later in my entrepreneurial journey, right? I mean, I'm 40. How old am I now? 40. I'm almost 42 when I'm filming this video. My first real business in entrepreneurship when I was 19. So it's been a while, 20 plus years of being an entrepreneur, not including like garage sales and that kind of stuff. And one of the hardest things for me was just not trying to have to do everything myself, not putting all the pressure on myself to have to do everything all by myself. I like to say in Movement Makers that 1 + 1 = 4,000. Like you come in, and not just Movement Makers, but anytime you do this, any club you join or group you join, especially if you're a giver, givers have a hard time asking. But when you're with other givers, they want to pour into you. They want to give to you. They want to see you win as well. So you come in hoping to get something. And then when you get that, plus you can contribute to other people and what they're doing and see that you're showing up for them, also allows them to go off and accomplish their goals. It's just such a great cycle. And it's such a weight lifted to know that you don't have to do everything all by yourself. So you could be willing to change. You could have these great ambitions and great ideas of who you could be and who you want to be and the impact that you want to have. But it's not going to happen until you realize that you can't do this alone. Stop trying to do this alone. Stop trying to do everything yourself. You can change. People will support you. But it's on you to collect good people, to audit who you follow on social media, and to join a group of people who are like-minded. If you want to make one single change this year that will have a tremendous impact on the growth of you actually accomplishing your goals, decide to not do this alone anymore.
Rule number 2, find your purpose.
Your vision comes from your purpose, and your purpose comes from your pain. When people ask me all the time, how do I find my purpose? How do I find my... It's one of the number one questions people have. Well, it's actually pretty easy. To find your purpose, you just have to understand that it comes from your pain. Whatever you struggled with the most as a human being in your life is the thing that you want to help other people through. And that may be something on a big scale where you want to change the world and make sure that it never happens to anybody else ever again and ease the suffering for others along the journey. If you're watching this video, you're on this channel, it's probably more the way that you lean, but it could also just be the people closest to you, the closest members in your family, your closest friends, the team that you're on, your coworkers. Those are the people who you want to help the most. You don't have to go off and change the world, but you do have to feel like what you do matters. At the end of the day, all of us want to make sure that we wake up and we feel like today's going to matter. When you feel like today matters to somebody, that you're going to be doing work that is in service to other people, that you will matter to them, that what you create today will matter to them, it's going to make you feel better. It's going to make you feel alive. It's going to make you feel worthy. It's going to make you feel proud of yourself. However, when you wake up and you feel like today doesn't matter, like nobody cares if you show up, that your work will be meaningless, you're just going to toil away and do useless things. We probably all had jobs like that, right? You had a job like that, you woke up, you went to your work, felt like you're just going to plug away, even if you were working hard, but it just didn't matter. There was no appreciation. The work you did didn't matter. It didn't matter if you showed up or not. Right? That's, I think most people, we've at least had a job like that at some point in our past. And that's the path down to feeling worthless and depression, anxiety and suicide, and a lot of the problems that we're facing. A lot of for a lot of people, the biggest problem is just you don't feel like the work you're doing is meaning anything to anybody, and therefore you feel like you don't matter because the work you're doing is not meaning anything to other people. Therefore you don't matter, because deep down we all want to serve. You were built to serve. We all want to feel like what we do matters. So you don't have to necessarily have a big vision for the world, but you do have to figure out your purpose, and your purpose comes from your pain. So for me, I struggled so much as an entrepreneur, as a 19-year-old, getting this first business off the ground and turning down the big jobs and failing and sucking and making no money and just pouring everything I had into this company and being absolutely broke financially and emotionally. You know, the initial high of I'm going to start a business, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, we're going to do this, we're going to change the world, was great. And then it wears off when you realize nothing is happening. We're barely getting any customers, we're barely making any money. The high of the launch fades pretty quickly, and then you're in the muck of actually just trying to create things. And I really struggled, and those were the worst days of my life. It led to some of the best days, but just the worst days emotionally, feeling like I was worthless. And so that's why I do what I do, because I want to help all the 19-year-old Evans out there not struggle as much as I struggled, not be as embarrassed to ask for help, not to be as ashamed to feel like a total failure, not to feel like I'm going through this alone, not to have zero mentors and building this up, not to pretend like everything is great when it's not. And it's not only talking to 19-year-olds around the world. You know, it could be you. It could be the 52-year-old woman, you know, who's going through the same thing. It's that emotion. And so I love helping. I've helped a lot of big people with their channels and their businesses, but my heart is really in the startup, because that's where I really struggled the most myself. And so that's what I'm trying to create. And every day I wake up and try to do something else, whether it's a YouTube video or a TikTok or an Instagram or write the book or a speaking engagement, and whatever the next thing is, VR Evan and hologram Evan and 3D Evan and whatever, beaming into your living room. This is something forever. When people ask me, how have you not burnt out? How do you keep going? So many years later, thousands of videos later, well, I feel like I'm living my purpose. I record videos on Tuesday. It's another Tuesday. We're sitting here in the car, and my wife is at her acupuncture appointment, and I joined her, and I've got my coffee, and I'm sitting in the car making videos, and this is video number I don't know how many thousand. And why I keep going? Well, because I feel like this video will mean something to at least one person. Maybe it hits 1 million people, maybe it hits one person, but it's going to be valuable to at least one person. And when you can feel that, when you can genuinely feel that you're making something that's going to actually touch at least one human being, man, that's a good addiction to get, you know, to feel like we matter. So think back to what was the most painful moment of your life. You want to find your vision, you want to find your purpose. What's the most painful moment of your life? When did you struggle the most as a human? When did you feel the most worthless, useless? It doesn't mean that you were suicidal, though maybe you were, but also doesn't mean that you were in depression. You know, maybe you were. But when did you just feel the lowest? I never had any suicidal thoughts. I don't think I was depressed either, but I felt really low. When was that moment for you? What were the worst days of your life? And your purpose is then to help other people who are struggling with that very same thing, because you've made it through. And it doesn't mean that you're done growing and learning. I'm still learning, I'm still growing. That's why I still watch videos and make videos, because I'm still learning, and that's great. You want to climb, you climb forever. You never want to stop progressing and stop climbing. That's the whole idea. You know, beyond the mountain there's more mountains. You want to climb forever, swim forever, play the game forever. There is no finish line. That's the best part of it. And every time you take another step, you reach back and you help somebody get to where you're at. And so you've learned a lot of lessons. If you think about who you used to be, go back to that moment where you were struggling the most, and that person, you know, for me, it's probably sitting at my business partner's dining room table, just frustrated, lost, tried everything, nothing's working. how am I here? Why did I say no to that job? Why did I say yes to this? Did I just throw away everything my whole life? You know, it might be overly dramatic, but that's what was going through my mind. So that's what I was actually thinking. So what would I go back and tell that Evan? So for you, what was the most painful moment of your life? Imagine it, picture it, see yourself there. Who are you with? Where are you? You know, what's the setting around you? And imagine you can go back and talk to that person, younger you. You had 15 minutes with that person. What would you say? You could help that person, right? You don't have to be Simon Sinek or Tony Robbins or Oprah Winfrey or whoever. You can go back and help younger you. You can give them some advice. And in fact, younger you would probably listen to you a lot more than they would listen to me or Simon Sinek or Tony Robbins, or Oprah Winfrey or whoever, because you've gone through it. They know who you are. They know that you understand them. And so they need your help. And that's what you create, whether it's making YouTube videos, whether it's some product or service that you end up selling, whether it's joining some other organization who has a similar vision that you're going to tie yourself to. But that's what you want to do. That will make your life meaningful. That will make you feel valuable. That'll make you feel connected to the thing that you're waking up every day doing. And I think ultimately that's what makes people happy. And so your vision comes from your purpose comes from your pain. And if you felt like you're reaching back and touching younger you and helping make sure that other people don't have to struggle and suffer as much as you did, that's the secret. That's the answer. That's the path to fulfillment, happiness, money, and most importantly, feeling like you are proud of yourself and that you matter.
Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action for you to shift that habit forward. So I've designed a special free program to help you get more self-belief for every day. For 254 days, I will send you an email to an unlisted video that, if you watch it, will shift your confidence forward. The links to join for free are in the description below.
For me, my goal is to help billion entrepreneurs. And so I always wanted to work on projects that have the ability to have a massive impact. That's what I strive for every single day.
Find whatever the smallest first step is, and then the smallest next step is, and continue to build those steps. And when you look back, you'll have realized that you made some pretty significant progress.
Don't go to them asking for help first. Go to them with value first, so that they're stumbling all over themselves to try to find a way to help you out too. Bring value first.
Rule number 3, leave your comfort zone.
Every day there's a battle raging inside you. The battle is between the comfort version of yourself and the growth version of yourself. The comfort you wants to be comfortable, doesn't want to push, wants to stay where you are. It's difficult, it's scary out there. Let's stay warm and comfortable. And the growth version of you wants to grow, wants to learn, wants to develop, wants to progress, wants to serve, wants to help. And doing that requires having courage, boldness, and jumping into the unknown. And it's a daily battle. It's a daily battle that never goes away, and you have to choose who consistently is going to win. And those daily battles are not won by doing the big heroic once a year things. It's won by doing the daily things, the daily small things that shift your identity forward to teach yourself that you're the growth kind of person and not the comfort kind of person. The first time I met Brendon Burchard was at his event at growth.com. I was speaking in Phoenix. It was his event. I was one of 2 guest speakers. It was him and his partner speaking, and then me and Eric Thomas. And his business partner invited me to come and speak, and it flew me down there. And I'd never met Brendon before. I knew of him, obviously, but I never met him face to face. And when I met him, he came backstage. I think it was the day before I was going to go speak, and I met him backstage, and he said, "Hey, I can't wait to see you on stage. I almost never bring on guest speakers who I haven't seen speak before, but you came highly recommended by my business partner, so let's do this. And I'm going to watch your speech and see what you do. I have a TV interview that I'm doing, and I'm going to pause that and make sure I'm done so I can watch your speech." So in my head, there's a lot of stress and pressure. 1, I never met Brendon before. 2, there's a couple thousand people out there in the audience. And 3, usually when speakers are on stage, the other speakers aren't super paying attention. You know, they're backstage in their own world doing their own thing, but Brendan was gonna end his interview to make sure that he was gonna watch my speech. And so he's adding all this extra pressure on me. This is the battle of growth versus comfort, of growth Evan versus comfort Evan. My biggest fear is disappointing people. I don't want to disappoint him. I don't want to disappoint the person who paid me to be there. I don't want to disappoint the couple thousand people in the audience. And so we go through these moments where the comfort you takes over. The comfort you wants to play small, wants to quit, wants to back down, wants to find an out, wants to find an excuse for why you can't do something. And the growth you is struggling for control. There's two things that I do that help growth Evan come out. And I want you to internalize them, to apply them, to use them, because if you can use these two strategies, it can massively shift your identity forward, help you become the growth version of you instead of the comfort version of you, and start giving you the results you want, as well as a more purposeful, happy life of service. Two things. First one, take on the identity that you do difficult things. You do difficult things. That if something is scary, difficult, or hard, that it's not a good enough reason. That you do scary, you do difficult, you love hard. And so I use those as triggers. And why it's important is you shortcut the thinking pattern. Every time that you say that it's scary, that it's difficult, that it's hard, or whatever words that you use that give yourself a break, that let yourself off the hook, use those as trigger words. That the fact that you said it means you have to do it. The fact that you said it, you thought it, you wrote it, means you have to do it just because. What it does is it shortcuts the excuse, because what normally happens is you say, well, that's too difficult. You've accepted that difficult is a good enough reason for you to play small. You don't go and do the thing. You've accepted then the excuses that come into your head over why you can't do it. And they're not, you don't call them excuses, you call them reasons, right? Logical, valid reasons why you can't do it. I want to shortcut all that. I don't want to even allow you to go there, because I don't allow myself to go there. The fact that I said scary, difficult, hards mean I have to do it. So find your trigger words. You can use mine as a starting point if you want, but find your trigger words, and that becomes your new identity. You want to take on the identity that you do difficult things, that you jump into the unknown. That those are no longer good enough reasons for you. And so I did this when I was backstage, when my heart's beating, I forgot what I was gonna say going on stage. Like in the moments leading up to going on stage, I forgot what I was gonna say. I have no slides either on stage, right? I don't go with a PowerPoint presentation. There's one slide that just has my name and face on it. That's it, no slides. As if I forget what I'm gonna say, I'm kind of screwed. So breathe. Evan Carmichael does difficult things. I do difficult things, right? You remind yourself. Well, what that does is put you into a more resourceful state to go and actually solve the problem. So that's step one. You do difficult things. And again, it's not just the big hero moments, it's the micro. There's difficult things that have happened already today that you have not done what you need to do. Because it was difficult and you gave yourself an out. Go do it. What that does for your self-love, for your self-pride, for your self-respect, for your self-confidence is incredible. And you need to give yourself that gift. I want you to give yourself that gift every day of doing a difficult thing. And for you, something that's difficult may seem trivial or small for somebody else. When I broke my neck and was struggling with a concussion, getting out of bed was difficult. Just getting out of bed and putting my feet on the ground and standing up was incredible pain through my spine. Incredible pain, which is something I take for granted now, but that was difficult. And so when those things happen, you pat yourself on the back. You did it. You did the difficult thing. So that's step number one. You do difficult things. The second mindset shift is leaning into service. It's not even about you. Newsflash, it's not about you. You're here to serve. You're here to help. You're for all the ambitions that you have for yourself, whatever the thing is that you're afraid to do, usually the thing we're afraid to do is in front of somebody else. You're not afraid of failing, you're afraid of failing and who's gonna see you fail. Right? You will sing in the shower, but you won't sing on the street corner. Why? People will film videos at their home, but not film it on the street where people can see them because you're afraid of being watched. You're not afraid of failing, you're afraid of failing in front of other people. You need to stop being selfish, get out of your own head, and recognize that you're here to serve. You're here to help. You've got a message, knowledge, information that can help people. And by you playing small, you're doing a disservice to them and to yourself. And so that's the other thing that I'll lean into is, yeah, Evan Carmichael does difficult things, but also I'm here to serve. And so when I'm backstage and I know Brendan's gonna watch me, and I know thousands of people are watching me, and I'm afraid of disappointing everybody, I look out into the audience, and instead of seeing 2,000 people who are here to judge me and I'm gonna disappoint them, I'm here looking at them saying, I have a message that can help them. I'm here to serve them. Because what I'm gonna share, Brendan doesn't know. Eric Thomas doesn't know. The other speakers here, his partners, they don't know. I can share something unique that can help them, and my intention is good. I'm here to help these people, not rip them off, not lead them down a dark path. I'm here to help them. And that, again, shifts how you feel about yourself, to give you the courage, the boldness, the motivation, the power to go and then do the thing that the growth version of you needs. That's how you get out of the comfort zone. That's how you get out of comfort you, scared you, small you, into powerful you, bold you, courageous you, growth you. Number one, you do difficult things. Anytime you find yourself complaining, scary, difficult, hard, negative, you do difficult things. And number two, you're here to serve. You're here to serve, you're here to help, you're trying to do good, and keeping your gifts to yourself is selfish, and you have to share it and get it out there. Those two things on a daily basis, every single day. That's that battle raging inside your head between the growth you and the comfort you. And my ambition, my intention, my goal for you is to have growth you win a little bit more than comfort you. It's not gonna be 100% growth you. There's no way that's gonna happen. Don't make that perfection the bar. It's that every day, growth you wins at least 51% of the battles versus comfort you. You do that, your life will change.
Rule number 4, shift your beliefs.
Your next big step forward in life will come from a big shift in perspective on one of your beliefs. Your habits, your routines, the results that you're getting all come from what you believe to be true about your life and the world. And for you to get different results than you're getting right now in your life, you're going to have to change your perspective on one or more of your beliefs. So this topic makes me think about my favorite comment of all time. If you think about my YouTube channel, I've had it for 11 years and I don't know how many thousands of comments. My favorite comment of all time was we profiled a Black entrepreneur, and one of the guys in the comments said, growing up, my parents taught me that Black people were the N-word. And you just changed my perspective today. I was willing to learn from a Black man. And it blew my mind because when I first set out to make my channel, it wasn't really about race or willingness to learn from other people. It was more, hey, these people have accomplished success. You should go and learn from them. I wasn't set out to try to solve sexism or racism or anything so big like that. But what had happened was I had enough credibility with this person, and I didn't know them from anything. They just watched enough of my videos that then when I made this video on a Black man, he decided, you know what, I'm gonna give it a few minutes. And that experience changed his perspective that then will hopefully go off and change his life. Imagine having that belief that then changes, what kind of ripple effect that has on the rest of your life. And that's what happens when you get exposed to new opportunities and new people and new perspectives. You were raised with a perspective. Your parents, your family, community, a super isolated perspective that you feel is right. And many of those things may still be right for who you want to become. But if you want to have greater success, greater levels of confidence, greater levels of happiness and purpose and fulfillment than the people around you, you're going to have to believe something that's different than what they believe. You're going to have to surround yourself with other people who've actually gone off and done that thing, because the people around you aren't giving you the thing that you need. And so that's one of my main goals with this channel. I know people come in to learn from people who are like them. You learn from people who look like you, who might be the same sex or same gender, in the same industry, or use the same language as you. But what I'm really hoping to do as well is, in that process, you came for this one person, you came for this one thought or one idea, and I want to expose you to a whole bunch of different perspectives, all still within the lens of belief, right? Everything on my channels, all of the channels are always positive. It's always belief. It's always optimistic. It's always uplifting. But I want to try to hit you with different perspectives and angles, because Eric Thomas and Jocko Willink are going to yell at you through something, and Oprah Winfrey and Wayne Dyer are going to hug you through something. And sometimes maybe you need to yell, and sometimes you need to hug. But I want to give you different perspectives to help you become the best version of you. Okay, so how do we make the perspective shifts that we need to make in our life to get to the spot that we want to be? I've got a 3-step process. Let's go. Step number 1 is learn to learn from people that you hate. This is one of the most important things that I can articulate, that I can push you towards. Find somebody who's had success, ideally in some kind of related field, but still has some success that you hate for some reason, and force yourself to learn from them. Force yourself to find one thing about them that you can learn to make you better at what to do. So even looking at my wall here, right? I like to tell the story. I've got Steve Jobs here, and I got my dad here. I want to be a visionary like Steve Jobs and a father like my father. I don't want to be a father like Steve Jobs and a visionary like my dad, right? The whole point of this is for you to be the best you. And for that to happen, you pull different things from different people. You may hate everything about Steve Jobs or everything about Kanye West at the back wall there, but there's one thing that you can learn from that person to help you be better. That's often a thing that unlocks a huge chunk of learning. People typically lock themselves in a box. You've trapped yourself in a box of learning, of saying, I'm only going to learn from these kinds of people. And so you get the same kind of messages over and over and over again. But really, if you want to unlock your learning, finding people who you disagree with, who you may hate a lot about them, but examining how they've had success, a good starting point is the top 10s on my other channel, right? It's always positive. It's something that I've learned from. If I can learn from them, you could probably learn from them as well. There's one little nugget out of those 10 rules maybe that can apply to your life. And when I was learning from Kanye West was somebody who used to bother me a lot. I saw somebody who's got a giant ego, somebody who I didn't want to be like. But I realized, you know what? I can learn from this guy. I can learn from this guy. I can learn to think bigger like Kanye. I can learn to be a better friend. If you know the story of him and John Legend, I can learn to be a better friend like Kanye. That you can't really see that picture there, but he's on a radio interview and he's saying in that clip, the time is now to be the greatest you. I don't want to sit inside a corporation for the next 30 years. Like, this is the time. The time is now. Let's go. I believe that. I need to remember that even more. Like, the time is now. Not tomorrow, not in 3 years, not next month. Like, it's right now. The time is now for you. You can learn that from Kanye right now, even if you hate him. So step number 1 is find somebody who you hate. Go to my top 10 channel or my main channel and go back in the archives and find somebody who you see their picture and it drives you nuts already. Great. Force yourself to go learn one thing from that person. That's the starting point for shifting your perspective. Step number 2 is say, it's the best. It's the best. This is one of the most valuable perspective shifts that I think any human can make, is when you're faced with something that's negative, something that most people will complain of, and the old you used to complain about, you shift it and say, this is the best. This is the best. This thing that's happening to me right now, this is the best. This coronavirus is happening right now, for me, it's the best. Shift your perspective to say this is the best, because what it does is it moves you from a place of being complaining and upset and angry and unproductive into a place of possibility, of resourcefulness, of you now showing to yourself and to the world what you're capable of. And so when I broke my neck, when there's a fire alarm going off, when we have coronavirus, this is how I stay productive. This is how I stay focused. This is how I stay pushing forward when most people are complaining and negative, is I tell myself, this is the best. This is my chance. This is an opportunity. And I think this is one of the biggest things that entrepreneurs who've had the biggest success crush at. So many entrepreneurs have built their businesses, the ones that you look up to and respect and admire and want to be like, they built their businesses in the toughest times. They built their businesses in recessions and depressions. Why? Because they said it's the best. So whatever that thing is that feels overwhelming, all encompassing, negative in your life, stop complaining about it and say, this is the best. I'm growing. I'm getting stronger through this adversity. I'm going to make something amazing as a result of it. And step number 3 is the first time yes rule. The first time yes rule is the first time you get invited to something or an idea comes to your head, say yes. Most people are in the no business. Most people are looking at all the reasons why it's not going to work and you can't do this and you have no skills or abilities or time or resources. You're always finding no's. We're in the no business of why we can't do stuff. We've told ourselves we can't do these things. Just say yes the first time. This is one of the things I love most about my wife, Nina, is I'll come up with all sorts of crazy ideas, and the first time she'll say yes. We'll see, right? You want to drive to Boston with 2 videographers in the back and film the, yes, perfect. You want to go to Sadhguru in Philadelphia and spend 2 days meditate? Yes, perfect. Even though you hate the cold, you want to sit in an ice bath with Wim Hof when he comes to Toronto and film behind? Yes, perfect. Doesn't mean she's going to do it again. She hasn't sat in an ice bath since, but it's the first time yes. The first time yes rule is one of the biggest mentality shifts that if you can make, you'll open yourself up to so many more opportunities. I look at dancing, for example, Toronto Dance Salsa, right? Another business that I run and operate. The number of people who come in and are scared and super nervous, and it's their first time dancing ever as an adult. And then you see the shift that they make in the identity of like, I just did that. I danced. I never thought I could dance. And here I got a few basic steps of a move. And if they keep coming back, they'll keep getting better. A lot of times you're not making the perspective shift that you need because you're not trying enough new stuff because you're in the no business. First time yes rule. You get an idea, somebody asks you for something, somebody wants to try something with you. Yes. First time yes. Doesn't mean you keep doing it. And as long as it doesn't go against your ethics or your values, don't go rob a bank because they said first time yes. Okay, we're not talking about that kind of stuff. But when you feel a little bit outside your comfort zone, it's like, I'm not the kind of person who does that. First time yes rule. Just see. You might surprise yourself.
And rule number 5, the last one before our very special bonus clip, trigger yourself for success.
The trick to getting yourself into action mode is to trigger yourself for success. Triggering yourself for success means you've taken the decision making out of it, that as soon as you come up with an idea, you have trained yourself by default into action mode. You see, your brain will always talk you down from things because it's trying to keep you safe and it only understands a world that currently exists that is logical and practical. Until you learn to trigger yourself for success, you will constantly doubt your thoughts, your ideas, and your actions. This video is gonna help. So today, I wanna talk about this bag right here. A lot of you leave comments, the newer fans of the channel say, why is Doritos sponsoring your videos? Evan, why don't you have a healthier sponsor? Don't you know what bad Doritos does to your body? You should be promoting healthy living. Doritos is not a sponsor, guys. This is triggering me for success every single day. And this isn't just some tiny bag. It looks small looking back here, but let me bring this up. Look at that. This is right next to my face. Look at how big that bag of Doritos is. I have a strategy, and it's a weird strategy, so maybe you'll love it, maybe you won't, but I have a strategy called Damn the Doritos. I look at this bag. So I'm sitting, this is how I'm working, right? I'm not sitting, I'm standing. I'm standing on a trampoline. This is my workspace right now, right? I'm standing here, I'm working. In the corner of my eye, I got Steve Jobs up here, and I got this giant bag of Doritos. All I want to do is eat this bag all day long. I want to destroy this bag of Doritos. Look at that giant chip. Oh, I'm gonna start drooling soon. I love it. I want to eat that all day long. This bag is here as a reminder of how great I am. This is the mental conversation inside my head. Evan, you're awesome. You're awesome for not eating those Doritos every day. And I want it as a reminder. People say, doesn't it take a lot of willpower? No, it builds, for me at least, builds the willpower. Builds my strength. Every time I see that bag of Doritos, makes me feel better about myself that I'm not eating it and I have the strength to keep going. And so why I have that here is when you're on a diet, right? This is how it began. When you're on a diet, your friends, your family, the experts will say, get rid of all the junk food from your house, get rid of it all because otherwise you'll be tempted and then you're gonna eat it and then you're gonna ruin your diet. I think that is actually teaching yourself that you suck. You're teaching yourself, I'm a weird duck, you're teaching yourself that you are not strong enough to be around the thing, and so I need to get it out of my environment. The only way that I can stick to this thing is if this other stuff is nowhere close to me. I think you're telling yourself that you suck. I think it's a big crutch. And just like when you break your leg, you have a crutch, your ultimate goal is to not have a crutch. It's to walk, it's to run, it's to be stronger than before, right? And so as a step one, maybe it's good, right? As a step one, okay, fine. You broke your leg, you have a crutch. You want to get on a diet, you're addicted to junk food, get out of the house, awesome. But as soon as you go on vacation, as soon as you go to an office party, as soon as you go to New Year's, any kind of party, you're gonna destroy the food because you've trained yourself every day that you suck, that you're not capable. I think you're a genius. I think you're stronger than you think. And so I tested it first with myself and I thought, you know what? Doritos are my nemesis, right? I love Doritos. Oh my gosh, just looking at that bag. So I went to Costco and bought the giant size bag of Doritos. I said, I'm gonna put this on my desk all day long. Because damn the Doritos, because the Doritos are stronger than me? I don't think so, right? I'm Evan Carmichael. And same thing for you. That thing that is holding you, that's stronger than you? I don't think so. Remember who you are. Remember how strong you are. And that's what this is here for. And it's been awesome to see people now take this up. A friend of the channel, Liron, was trying to get off of sugar. And he has this coffee cup with a saucer, and he drinks his morning coffee. And he put 2 packets of sugar on the saucer right next to the coffee. So he pours his coffee, has the sugar right next to it, and he just starts drinking it and puts it down and looks at the sugar packs and then just drinks the coffee again and puts it down, looks at the sugar packs, and his wife thinks he's crazy. And he's a little crazy too. You gotta be a little bit weird duck, but I think this is actually how you build your strength. Mark Drager, another friend of the channel, is addicted to the Peak Friends cookies. You know, the ones that have the red on the inside and the cream in the middle. Those are among my favorites too. And so his COO, when he heard this, went out and bought all these boxes of Peak Friends and put it on Mark's desk. And he opened it up. And this is one of my favorite things to do. Whenever I'm around Doritos or something I really love to eat, not just say, oh, put that away from me. Don't be around me. I can't have that. And not just look at it. I want to smell it. So Mark took these cookies, brought it right up here. Peak Friend cookies, right up here. Oh, and you can just see the joy on his face just as he's bringing back memories and just what those cookies are gonna taste like when they enter his stomach, and just goodness everywhere, right? The smile on his face, maybe a little bit of drool coming out, you just, and then put the cookies down and walk away. And how great that makes you feel as a human to say, here's one of my biggest weaknesses of all time. Bring it. I own you. Put it down and walk away, right? I think that's how you actually build strength, by doing those difficult things, by triggering yourself for success. Every time I see the Doritos bag, I feel better about myself. I feel stronger about myself. And I want you to do the same thing. If any of you are gonna take on that kind of challenge, I wanna hear you. I wanna follow you. I wanna see how your journey is going, because it can be one of the biggest, most important life-changing decisions that you embark on.
Lack of consistency is one of the biggest reasons why entrepreneurs fail. It's one of the biggest reasons. You're a genius, you have great ideas, you want to serve, you know you're capable of more, and you have these moments of inspiration and moments of boldness and moments of massive productivity and focus and clarity, but it's not consistent. And that's why most entrepreneurs will lose. Because you might crush it on a Saturday or a Sunday or a Monday, but then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you fall back down. Until the next Saturday when you're up and flying again. It's not enough. It's much more about what you do every day. You are what you consistently do. It's a huge problem for entrepreneurs, so let's fix it. Number one, if you are a part-time entrepreneur, if you work for someone else, you're a part-time entrepreneur, you need to make sure that every single day you're working on your business. Every single day, you have to work on your business, no matter what. Even if it's for 15 minutes at night, every single day, you cannot let momentum die. Even just to show yourself that you can. Even if it's a crazy long day and your boss is yelling at you and you come home and your spouse is angry and your kids are sick, even then, you have to spend 15 minutes on your business, half an hour on your business, every single day. You cannot let the momentum die. Don't disappoint yourself. Number two, if you're already full-time in your business, great. You need to have CEO time every day in your business. CEO time. Time where you spend being the CEO. What does that mean? It's different for different entrepreneurs, but when you're working on the business instead of in it, if you spend all time just working in the business, just putting out fires and never growing, guess what? You're never going to grow. If you never have CEO time built into your business, you will never be a CEO. And so you need to make sure that every day you have CEO time built into your business. Again, maybe it's only half an hour, but in that half an hour, you're spending time growing your company, you're going to start seeing results. And my last tip is I want you to start your morning off powerfully. I want you to chart your start. I want you to have a morning routine that inspires you, that makes you feel bold. Most people, what do when they wake up? First thing they do is they hit the snooze button. What does that mean? It means last night you set a goal. I'm going to wake up at a certain time, right? I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m., 5 a.m., 7 a.m., 12, noon. I don't care what time you have to wake up. You set a goal, you're going to wake up. And then the very first thing that you do, how you start your day, every day is you say, I am not going to hit my goal today. That's how you start your day. That's how most of America starts their day. They say, I'm not going to hit my goal today. How do you think you're going to go go off and have an amazing day and crush it and go hit your crazy big goals and ambitions that you have as an entrepreneur, when you tell yourself and you reinforce it every morning that you are the kind of person who doesn't hit their goals. You gotta change that. You gotta wake up. Wake up when you say you're gonna wake up. Get out of bed when you say you're gonna get out of bed. That's step one. Then step two is, what is a morning routine that sets you up for success? Most people wake up like it's an accident. They wake up, you check your phone, you're responding to other people's emergencies and their agenda for your time. That's not how you need to start your day. Successful people, they own their morning. What does your morning look like? And we've all felt inspired and bold at some point. You felt it. You've been bold, you've been inspired at some point in your life. Great. Whatever that thing was that made you feel bold, unstoppable, inspired, put that into your morning routine. Maybe it's watching a video, maybe it's reading a book, maybe it's doing an act of kindness, maybe it's meditating, maybe it's prayer, whatever it is, with intention, because some of you have a morning routine already. I'm talking to you. You have a morning routine already, but you're not crushing it every day. You're not coming out of that morning routine feeling bold, inspired consistently. That's what we're talking about. Consistency here. Sometimes you just go through the motions of your morning routine. Sometimes you just pray, but you're not really connecting. Sometimes you just watch a video, but you're making your breakfast, you're brushing your teeth, and you're not paying attention. With intention, do your morning routine. You must come out of your morning routine every single day feeling bold, unstoppable, and confident. If you did that, if you woke up every day on time like you say you're going to, you're not gonna hit the snooze button, you get out of bed, and then you did the thing that made you feel bold, powerful, and unstoppable every single day, holy cow, I guarantee you your life 1 year from today will look dramatically different than where you are right now. Consistency is the game. You are what you consistently do, and I want to see you win.
Because you made it this far in a video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you are different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So as a special celebration, if you put a hashtag believe down in the comments below on this video, I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video because you are awesome.
If you want to learn how to make meditation work even if you don't like it, check out the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
I believe in the impact on the brain. I believe in all of the data that comes out on it, but I could never make it work for me. And I was doing it more to discipline than anything else to say, okay,